Well, hi everyone. I'm John Ritland, and this is my review of NWA The Circle Squared episodes 1 through 3. Yes, episode 1 happened a couple weeks ago, but I want to give the proper respect and appreciation to everybody that is going out there, telling their story in a promo, having a match, trying to earn a contract with the NWA, which is the concept of the show, and the fans get to let their voices be heard, not just in the studio, but people watching on YouTube. And various YouTube personalities and even some wrestlers are including their reactions, and the reactions are being put into these YouTube pieces that NWA is putting on their channel. Eli Drake and Allison Kay offer their opinions on episodes 2 and 3, which is really, really nice. So it's really, really cool stuff to see, everybody gain a chance to earn a contract with the NWA. And even those that don't, hopefully being on a platform like this, they get a chance to go out there, get more bookings, and just show their love and appreciation for wrestling and earn a really good living. That's really what it's all about. So since it's promos, little video piece, and a match, these reviews are not going to take very long. That's why I'm bunching them all together here. And we start off with PJ and Luke Hawx, father-son team. And father-son teams have been around before. Larry the Axe-Hennig and Kurt Hennig did team up, but never to this level where you got a father that's really, in a physical prime, and the son is experienced enough where you can see like a really, really good dynamic here. And they call themselves Hawx Airy. And they talk about, wanting to prove that they're the best. It's the ABCs and the XYZs. That means they start something and they finish it. That was some really, really good stuff. And then we get Nikita Koloff coming out, and he introduces his team. Nikita Koloff with a great lineage in the NWA. I mean, come on, the multi-time champion, tag champion, singles champion. He really does, he really does hold a lot of credibility when it comes to the Jim Crockett promotion era. Yes, he was in the early days of WCW when Ted Turner had the company. Unfortunately, he did suffer a neck injury in 1992, which was very unfortunate, but he has done great work since and still has, still his name carries a lot of weight in the NWA. And he talks about, tag team wrestling history, Ivan Koloff, Don Cornotto, Crusher Khrushchev, Barry Darso, um, you know, Demolition Smash, and various others. And he introduces Jeff Lewis Neal and Tyson Dean, and they are the best kept secret in wrestling. So, okay, cool. They do a pretty good promo. They kind of almost have the twin magic thing going where I can't really tell exactly what they're, it's like, wait, which one's who? And also, quickly before I get into the match, the reason I do not provide my own video reactions basically is because I watch this late. I work late on Tuesday, so that's pretty much why I'm not providing my video reactions. I would love to, but work calls and that paycheck is important. Now, back to the review. Hawx Aries and the best kept secret in wrestling. Koloff joins commentary. He offers some pretty good pieces. Koloff's team starts off hot. They've beaten the crap out of PJ. And of course, you target the son. That's what you want to do. You target the younger one. You beat him up and everything, and then he hits a few moves, but mostly just gets beat up. And then Luke gets tagged, and soon after gets a pop-up power slam. 1, 2, 3, and there we go. Hawx Airy gets the victory, and then they have a promo afterwards. Really, really good stuff. And who's going to get the contract? Really, I gotta say that, I'm not saying everybody get a contract. I'm not saying I want the NWA to just give contracts out and lose money if they aren't earning enough. But hopefully they are. But the whole point is I would love to see more tag teams featured. Both these teams did pretty damn well, and Hawx Airy, be pretty damn good to see them. But Neal and Dean, they did pretty damn well too. So anyway, we then go on to episode 2. We have Sean Mooney talking about poll results and everything. And Hawx Airy apparently was leading a poll where it's like they should have gotten a contract. It was like 81% to 19. Really good. And we get a Colby Corino promo. Of course, the son of Steve Corino. He talks about his dad's legacy, former NWA champion, talking about wanting to make his family and especially his 7-month-old son proud. He wants to earn money. He wants to earn a contract. He wants to be able to put food on his table, diapers on his butt, that kind of stuff. Really good. Now, people may have thought that he was kind of losing what he was saying. No, he was just getting really emotional about it because we get to find out a little bit later why he was so emotional. We get a George South promo. 41 years in the business, residential jobber, and, Ric Flair loved to work with him. He's somebody that worked in the Crockett days and WWE and then also in WCW for a number of years, Smoky Mountain Wrestling. He worked a whole lot of places, and talks about, rails against fans. Talks about his history with Carino, both of them, and just says to the fans, "Oh, I'll punch your mother in the mouth." So just a grizzled veteran, And Eli Drake and Allison Kay, they talk about the promos. It was good stuff. And then George South, they do a little video piece on him talking about his history in the NWA and stuff like that. Really, really good stuff. And Colby, he apparently overdosed on heroin when he was 19. He's been clean for 2 years. I believe he's 23 now, I believe he said. And that's great. Great for him. Drug addiction is no goddamn joke. Good for him on getting clean, because not a lot of people can do it. I've known somebody that got over their addiction to heroin, and it wasn't easy. They did it, though. And now they're a father of some kids. And living with his wife and everything, and it's all good. The whole point is he overcame it. That's an inspiring story. And it was a match that basically just involved George South using the claw maneuver and just using old school tactics. And eventually, he kept yelling, "Shut up" at the fans. And eventually he would try to charge into the corner. And then Colby would hit the most devastating maneuver in all of professional wrestling, the surprise roll up, 1, 2, 3. And Colby Carino, that is, because I'm pretty certain that I'm probably going to accidentally call him Steve Carino, because he really does look like his dad in ECW, doesn't he? I mean, just take a look at him. Take a look at Steve Carino in 1999 to late 2000, early 2001 WCW. Just take a look at him, and my God, it's such a dead ringer. It's absolutely great. But that happened, and they cut the promos and stuff like that. Who's gonna get the victory? So good showing by both. And then we get Joe Galley with a Crockett Cup update. So it's Skrull and Aldis for the NWA title, Stevens and Murdoch for the NWA National Championship. Thunder Rosa's opponent will be named on the next week's Superpower. Last NWA Power episode for I believe until after the Crockett Cup, because then they're gonna have other programming. And teams that are in the Crockett Cup so far: Rock and Roll Express, Brody King and Flip Gordon, Ray Horace and Flamita, and Royce Isaacs and Tom Latimer, who won the whole thing last year. Wildcard Battle Royal rules, where the last team is going to be basically the last 2 guys that are in the ring. So, interesting. Okay, cool. I mean, I believe it was the same thing that they did last year, which is pretty nice. And then we get team or people that are going to be in entrance in this battle royal: Tim Storm, Ricky Starks, Zicky Dice. So there we go. Now we go to episode 3. The women take center stage. We get Freya the Slayer, who apparently is going to be at Without a Cause. That's a local independent promotion that I frequent. That's literally like 20 miles from my house, and she's going to be here on, I believe, the 21st. So I was interested to see that. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I get to see her here. How is she? Like, apparently she's really, really good. And apparently she lives in Alaska. She talks about the ring being her element, and we get to find out a little more about her later. And then we get Danny Jordan. She calls herself the real mean girl and has a burn book. And I fucking love her already. God damn, I love it. I love Mean Girls, by the way. Burn book. If you haven't seen Mean Girls, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Go see it. I mean, it's probably streaming somewhere. But right there is it's easily my favorite comedy of the last 20 years, which I know may surprise some people, but she's great. She's embracing this whole Mean Girl thing. She does the references, does this, has the book, just has all this stuff. It's fucking great. She's got a great character down right there. And then we get a Freya Slayer promo. She grew up tough in Alaska in the elements. Drove 6 hours to do training. I mean, she was in Fairbanks, Alaska. She ain't exactly an easy place to live, from what I hear. Now, I've never been to Alaska, but apparently there are a lot of them. Unless you're like in the southern tip, even then that can be a little bit rough. But good for her. She she embraced the elements. She fought through the elements. She fought to get, where she is, and she wants to earn a contract. And then we get a Danny Jordan promo. She really wants to get respect. She wants, she just wants that. That's what I really liked about this. And then also the match. It was good stuff. It was nice to see that it wasn't just size, because Freya Slayer is bigger than Danny Jordan. And that's not knocking, but just size difference and everything. It's a monster versus, a scrappy heel and that kind of stuff. And I really, really liked it because Danny would keep targeting the leg, and Freya was selling really, really well, doing some good stuff. She would hit some power moves, but Danny just kept going for that, hitting some strikes and doing this and really trying to get her off her game. The leg was coming into play a whole lot. Eventually, even after missing a leg drop, Danny Jordan tried for something, but then it was like a sit out, like almost a variation of a Michinoku driver. 1, 2, 3. Freya the Slay gets a victory. And this is good. One, Danny looked like she landed on her head. Hopefully she's okay. I mean, I'm sure this was taped weeks before, but still, that looked pretty brutal. So hopefully she is okay. Now, this was pretty good. I really enjoyed this. Overall, the shows I would say get a B minus, and it's nothing against the shows at all, but it's just like promos, match, this kind of stuff. It was really, really good, but it's just for the totality of it. Yeah, maybe they might want to start including 2 matches in on this, or bunch these episodes together like they did for 2 and 3, and it might not be the worst idea in the world. But B minus, I enjoyed these, and I hope every single one of these talents gets a chance to get a contract with the NWA or get a chance to get some more bookings, because they all got some tremendous upside. They really, well, I mean, George South has been around for a while, but it was really, really good to see him there. And he was there to get Carino over, and he did a good job doing that. Anyway, so agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.